Hello, I'm Grumpy Lion 89 and welcome to Trial Run Democracy 3 Part 4. We take off where we left off and we had a increased GDP, lowered crime and education has gone up as well. We have also has a that was loud. Economy is still in recession. We still have a good poll report, budget report. We still have a surplus. This is all going well. And this should be gone in the next term. This is increasing. This should be gone as well. Do I want to change anything? I think I'm going to get rid of the property tax. That will be good for the retired people as well. And it will help homelessness. So we are going to, we save so much on state's housing and we picked away from the retired people. Private housing is going well. And where is the private pensions? Here. That's doing good too. Currency strength is doing well as well. And I think, well, let me take a look if there is anything that I want to do. Technology grants. I think we should implement this because it's combat poverty and it's good for the health. Children will eat good or healthy, so let's do that. We have the money for it. And I think the next one is the last turn before we hit an election. We will almost surely win. And we should get rid of a lot of bad influence. Start counts. We're doing good. Organized crime is gone. Unemployment is going down, crime and poverty. So that's good. Poverty, since we started, has gone down dramatically. Economic forecast, still recession, still surplus, still poll report, still good. Poverty dramatically gone down. Oh, I wish I had done that earlier. GM food proposal. A number of large agricultural companies are interested in growing genetically modified GM food on our soil. Some food can be genetically manipulated to allow for longer shelf life and both disease and herbicide resistant. Opponents are concerned about the potential risk associated with altering the food chain. Farmers are divided on the issue. Allow GM crops. GM crops have huge potential benefits. Not only do they increase shelf life and thus reduce costs for the sellers, but they can also reduce the need for pesticides, thus meaning less harmful chemicals in use during their production. It's also possible for foods to be created with other benefits such as improved vitamin content. And we can ban the sale of GM food. There's no need for GM food. The benefits are great for the producers, but not for the consumers. We simply do not know enough about the long-term benefits of genetically modifying the food chain. Scientific research is all well and good, but once released into the environment, these organisms cannot be recalled. We should act now to protect the food chain from GM. Ah, tough one. I don't really have an opinion on this. Let's allow it. Continue. This is going well, and this is going dramatically since we have removed the mortgage tax relief. Or the, how was that called? Property tax. Is there something else I like to do? Well, we can implement gambling, but it will be bad for our crime rate. Legalize prostitution. Is it illegal in England? Oh, I don't know. Let's implement this, because it will be good for the environment, and yes, let's do that. And I actually want to get rid of the inheritance tax because that's ridiculous. Yeah. And let's put some money in here. Well, let's go all the way. Why not? Oh, insufficient. Alright. Let's just do nothing and how's our CO2? It's gone up. Huh. Because of the GDP, I think. It's almost gone. Let's go to the next. Obesity, alright. Extradite terrorist suspect. A Middle East country with which we have no formal extradition treaty has requested that we extradite an immigrant living here to them to face charges of terrorism. They accuse him of being responsible for car bombings in their capital city, but the only evidence they have of this is the confession of other terrorist suspects, which may have been made under duress. Extradite the suspect. We should send this terrorist back to his home country immediately. There may be some minor concerns about the justice system in his home country, but they are fighting terrorists. And if the situation were reversed, we would be outraged at any refusal to send terrorists to face trial. There's no time to be squeamish about interrogation methods. Keep him here. If we extradite this man, there is a chance he will face the death penalty. We have no way of knowing if he will get a fair trial. And we cannot be sure that he is the right man. We cannot extradite people just on the say-so of foreign governments. We need to see evidence of criminal activity before we possibly send the man to his death. Difficult choice, this one. On the one hand, I say it's not none of our business, and they say he did that, and it's their convict. So what can we do? What should we have to do with it? On the other hand, I say we should protect this man because maybe he has done nothing. Let's go for extradite. And we need to do something about obesity, and I know already what. Let's we can go for two ways for this. We can do a, where is it? Junk food tax. We can tax unhealthy food. We can subsidize healthy food. And I thought there was another thing we could do. Apparently not. Oh, that's already implemented. People don't like it. Oh, they like the junk food tax better. I was going with health food subsidies, but apparently they like this better. So let's go over 50%. Here it is, Food Standards Agency. Let's increase it all the way. Homelessness is going down. We can implement a mortgage tax relief. This allows people to claim tax relief on the interest payment they have to make when they borrow money to buy a house. This helps home buyers to afford their mortgage payment, but they can be resented by those who are not in position to buy a house, as it's effectively a tax break for home buyers. Why not? Hoppa. That will decrease homelessness as well. This is almost gone. Let's go to the next turn. Good. Market meltdown. Deep recession. But we have a surplus, so apparently it did not help. What else can we do? We can remove agricultural subsidies, but I don't really want to do that. We can increase state healthcare, but I don't really want to do that either. Something like this, will this help? Yeah, it will help. So let's implement that as well. Capitalists are not happy, but overall we're doing great. Look at that, almost 90%. We still have a surplus. In what can we put that? Let's reduce the income tax a little bit. Let's go for this. it will be a big hit, although it looked like was not that much, but it is going to be a hit in our surplus, but that's alright. And we get rid of alcohol abuse. This will be good for our surplus as well. GDP has gone up, but unemployment as well. I wonder why that is. Health is doing good. Police officers have arrested a con man who is staying in our country illegally. Under normal circumstances, he will be eligible to be deported back to his country of origin. The man claims that if sent back to his homeland, it is likely he will be tortured by the government. This man has nobody to blame for his situation but himself. He arrived here illegally and has operated as a criminal since he got here. If he had claimed political asylum when he arrived and not begun a life of crime, it would be a different matter. In the circumstances, we must take his claims of torture threats with a pinch of salt. It's clear that this man is hardly a model citizen, but no confidence trickster deserves to be tortured. If we truly oppose the use of torture in principle, then despite the man's history, we need to ensure we are not willing participants to torture by sending him back home. If we deport him, it could effectively become a death sentence. A really hard one as well. You can say something for both of the options, but I think that you can't believe someone who has proven not to be honest, and then if he's getting caught saying, but I will be tortured if you send me back. So good. Obesity is going down. We still have a surplus of 55. Oops, wrong button. I still want to improve our GDP, and I think that will be by technology grants. Good. GDP gone up, health gone up, unemployment gone down. Crime is almost gone. So I think we could thinking about removing those cameras. And then we need to keep a close eye on our crime rate. Global economy is in recession and is having negative. Yes. Budget report has a 52 billion surplus still. Let's look at this. We need to keep a close eye on this. Let's cancel it and see what happens. Plonk. Alright. Let's put a little bit of money in here as well. Because the GDP is going up, so the road users should increase. And we did a couple of little things to help it, but income tax is going down. Yes. Technology is doing very good. currency strength has gone down. That's because of the GDP. And apparently, I think this helped our GDP climbing up, as well as the cancellation of technology backwater. People smuggling. A large number of people have been caught entering our country, hidden inside cargo containers. An organized attempt at people smuggling. The criminals who masterminded the scheme have been arrested. But there is debate as to whether those people who are now on our shores should be sent back to their country of origin. Allow them to stay. There is strong evidence that these people were desperate to flee persecution, poverty, or even death in their own country. These are desperate people, as we can see from the lengths they went in order to get here. It would be inhumane to deport them now they are here. Or we could deport them. Letting these people stay would send out entirely the wrong signal to people who want to come here illegally. We have enough of a problem with illegal economic migrants as it is. Unfortunately, though it may be, the only sensible choice is to send them back. Well, this, I think, is in most of the countries a very difficult matter on how you handle immigrants. I know it is in the Netherlands where I live, and the opinions are very different, and I don't know what stance I should take in that. On the other hand, I say you should deport them, because you say to everyone else who wants to come here, the only thing you have to do to get to stay here is crawl in a container and let yourself ship over here, and that's enough evidence that you really need to be here. But I also think that if people do that, they are really desperate, because who wants to stay in a container for weeks or even for days? And a lot of the time it gets wrong because people suffocate or starve of hunger or equal. So let's allow them to stay. And that's the last thing we do in this episode. I thank you all for watching, and have fun gaming. Bye bye.